On today's Apple Daily, don't update to Big Sur without watching this. Terrifying Big Sur upgrade issues. Dan Riccio in Apple Reality. MacBook Pro 14-inch pricing. Gaming on M1. And how Evernote has ruined my day.
For the latest Apple news, rumors, and leaks, every weekday at 12 UTC. Join us in the iCave.
I'm iCaveDave, and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. And if you want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours every weekday at 12 UTC, like this video, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you don't miss a thing, and you can join our notification squad. So Evernote has ruined my day. Today's video is going to suck, and it's their fault. So this morning I came to my computer, I came to my iPad, and Evernote won't log in. And not only that, if you can't log into Evernote in the app, it won't even let you see the notes that you've already made. So the script that I wrote last night for today's show is just disappeared off into the ether somewhere, and Evernote doesn't work. So don't use Evernote. That is basically my takeaway from today's show. Don't use Evernote. It sucks. It sucks really hard. I'm going back to using Apple Notes, which is what I always used in the past. The only reason I moved away from it is because my kids started using Apple Notes as well, and because all of their iPads are on the same account, because I haven't bothered to set up children accounts on their iPads. They kind of just started deleting stuff that I needed, which was a little bit annoying because they wanted to send pictures to the Mac so that we could print them, because that's the mechanism that we've chosen. So I'm going back to Apple Notes. They're going to get their own proper accounts. Life will be fine. Let's get into the real news. But bear in mind that all of this real news is basically off the cuff because the script's gone. Thanks, Evernote. Big Sur update can cause data loss. An issue with the Big Sur installer when upgrading from previous versions of macOS like Catalina or Mojave means that space available on the drive is not accurately checked. The 13GB installer needs an additional 35.5 gigabytes of free space on the installation drive in order to complete correctly. Otherwise, you can get an error where it doesn't have enough space, which leads to a boot loop and then an error occurring preparing the installation, or boot into recovery mode with no startup disk showing as available. Add to this the bigger issue that on Macs with a T2 chip and FileVault 2 encryption, it seems like recovering the data on that drive is really hard because you can't recover the password if you've lost it. So please, if you are still on an older version of the OS, make sure you have like 50 gigs free before upgrading. Please, please. Dan Riccio moves to Apple Reality. Now, this is one of the things that I scripted out fully in Evernote, and I don't have now because of their fail to log in issues. So let's get into it anyway. We're going to just do this off the cuff. Apple Reality looks like being a full-on headset. This is not Apple Glass. This is kind of a precursor to that. But it looks like they are going to include two 8K displays in this thing, one for each eye, which is just crazy amounts of resolution. And you might be wondering how they can power such a thing. Now, that's a very, very good question, because a couple of 8K displays is a ridiculous, that's like powering 8 4K displays. So you would need a lot of horsepower to do that, and we were talking yesterday about the fact that this is probably going to be powered internally. It's not going to be tethered to a phone or anything like that, because to be completely honest, an iPhone does not have the grunt to power to 8K displays. So we're hearing that internally it's going to have something that is more powerful than an M1 built into the headset itself. Apple is being very clever about this because you do need a lot of detail when you're going to be looking very closely at these displays. So 8K displays make a lot of sense, but powering them is very, very hard. So what they're doing is in real-time eye tracking to see where you are looking, where your attention is within the display. That is the part of the display that will get the full detail, full resolution 8K. The rest of the display will actually have lower resolution because your eye can't resolve it anyway. The way that a human eye works is you can only resolve properly an area about the size of a 10p piece or a quarter in the US, but essentially an area about the size of a small coin. So there's no reason for the entire display, the entire 8K display, to be at a full resolution, when Apple can just resolve the areas that you're looking at in high resolution. As long as they can track your eye quickly enough and adjust which areas of the display are being fully resolved, then this should work fine. And it's kind of the equivalent in terms of resolution to what they've done with ProMotion in the past with display refresh rates, where it only ramps up the refresh rate when it needs to. So it's only 120 Hz when you're doing something that requires that to look smooth. The rest of the time it can ramp all the way down to 24 Hz, which is perfect for watching cinematic movies. And with the Apple Watch, it can go down as far as 1 Hz. So it only refreshes once a second when it needs to update the display. So it looks like this could actually be launched this year. It's going to be $3,000, which is expensive. Apple Glass, which is the reality glasses, are going to be a little bit later, so don't hold your breath for those, but exciting times nonetheless. Now we're going to get into some iCave answers. Tech Hype asks, iCave Answers, does iCave answer? Yes, I do. Moving on. That Drummer Kid asks, iCave Answers, what price do you think the entry-level MacBook Pro will be when it launches with the new M series chip? The 14-inch with the lowest specs, do you think it will support 2 external displays? So I think that the 14-inch will probably launch at the price of the 4 Thunderbolt port MacBook Pro, whatever that costs in your country. Right now in the US that costs $17.99, so my best guess is that that is the starting point for the 14-inch, because I think it's going to come with the upgraded processor, and I think it's also going to come with the 4 Thunderbolt ports. Now I also think that if they update the MacBook Pro 13-inch in November, or even if they do a 14-inch in November, with the M2 chip, it might be still at the lower $13.99 price or $12.99 price, $12.99, and still have the 2 Thunderbolt ports, because there are a lot of people that want a MacBook Pro but don't actually need as much connectivity as you think. I think they will stick with 4 Thunderbolt ports on the 14-inch with an X chip. So that's where I would expect they will be going. You ask about 2 external displays as well. I think you are going to lose a lot of the restrictions that we have with the M series chips when you go to an MX chip. So fingers crossed it should support more displays. I don't see why it wouldn't. I don't think you'll have any of those restrictions that we've had with the current M series entry-level chips. Thank you very much for the question. New Plays with Mac asks, iCave Answers, do you think that Apple MacBooks would be good for gaming with the new upcoming chips? So one of the things that people don't seem to realise is that actually the graphics built into the current M series chips in the M1 is actually very good. It's the equivalent to an NVIDIA GTX 1050 Ti in terms of graphics performance, in terms of OpenCL, and in terms of metal. It's a little bit quicker, in fact. But the difficulty is not with the power that's on board these things. Power-wise, they have no problems playing games. The problem they have at the minute is support from games developers, because it needs the game developers to see that it is a platform worth developing for, that people are going to buy games on it before they will bring their support to the platform itself. So yes, the power is there. Yes, they will be great for gaming, assuming people write games that will run on them. And that very much comes down to a big install base and making it worthwhile for them to be installed. So apologies that today's show is just cack. Evernote ruined that for everyone, so please head over to their Twitter and let them know. Don't. It's not a big deal, but it is really annoying, and it has very much moved me away from paying for their service to deleting it. But if you have a question that you would like to see answered in one of our upcoming shows, please let me know down in the comments. Use the hashtag iCaveAnswers. If you want to join the notification squad like someone did today, and I can't tell you who it was because it's locked in Evernote, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a thing, and then post up hashtag notification squad down there. Also, we have been experimenting with some new formats the last couple of days. So you've got iCaveDave OneShots, which is our clip show. So basically we take the main segments from the normal shows, probably not today because they're not going to be as good, and we break them out into their own videos so that it's easier for people to find if they're looking for specific information. Because the problem with doing a news show is that you can't put all the information about what's in the show in the title and the thumbnail. So I'm breaking it out. So if you see a one shot and you've watched the main show, you don't need to see that. But feel free to just let it play in the background so that I get more views and that Cybertruck can be mine. We're also doing some shorts. So if you watch on a phone, these are going to be in a vertical format. If you hate vertical videos, if it says shorts at the side of it, don't do it because you'll hate it. But these are 60-second videos, which will give you a really quick overview of certain stuff. The first one we did was about iMacs. I will link to it just up here. I thought it was a pretty good video, so go and check it out. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next one.